Tammy, I don't think this is a good idea. What if the nanny gets into trouble?
Relax, I've done this a million times. It's so funny.
911, what's your emergency?
Help!
Tammy was my best friend, and she was always doing crazy stuff that got us into trouble.
Girls, just because you're kids doesn't mean you can get away with making prank calls to the police. Your parents will pay a big fine.
Please, sir, we are so sorry. We promise never to do it again.
Fine, but if this happens again, you girls will be in a lot of trouble. We are able to trace the calls.
The puppy dog eyes trick always worked and saved us almost all the time.
Come on, last one inside is a rotten egg.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole, and what you just witnessed was only a minor ordeal compared to all the other trouble my best friend Tammy would get us into. We were friends ever since we were both in our mom's tummies. Her mom and my mom were best friends, and I was born 2 days after Tammy. Talk about planning. Hey, I almost forgot. Please like and subscribe to this channel. They have some amazing stories, and this one is mine.
Tammy, this is disgusting! What are you still doing out there, Stinky?
I have no idea where she gets all her crazy energy from. I have always been the chill, laid-back type, more of a bookworm and the quiet girl in the background. Meanwhile, Tammy was fearless, always ready to take on massive risks for the both of us.
Nicole, climb your stinky butt up here. You're already up there, so you grab the apples. I'll stay down here and play it safe, just to make sure you don't drag us into any trouble. No way! You're coming up here. It's so awesome. It's like a whole new world up here. Well, a roof is not that amazing to see, so I'm fine, thank you. If you don't come up, then I'll never come down. Then the owner of that mansion will be home and you will be in a lot of trouble. Fine!
Tammy was always so stubborn. Because I cared about her so much, I mustered up the courage and faced my fear of heights.
You can do it, Nicole! Here, take my hand!
Having Tammy around helped me be courageous. But as we grew up, our differences started drifting us apart. Tammy had a deep love for everything related to nature, and she constantly tried to get me to share the same passion.
Nicole! Here, you hold him. He's so cute! No, thank you. I'm not a wildlife person. You know that. Aw, look how cute and slimy he is. No! Tammy, I said no!
I was never one with anger issues, but I guess Tammy sometimes pressed the wrong buttons in me. I enjoyed things like playing the piano. Beethoven was my all-time favorite composer, and my parents were so proud of the way I turned out. My old man was a grease monkey, and my mom rocked the mop as a maid. We lived in a teeny tiny house that used to belong to my late grandma. But let me tell you, those two superheroes always found a way to put a smile on my face. I had this epic dream of becoming a legendary music composer and then transforming that humble house into a jaw-dropping mansion for my incredible parents. They made sure I had all the happiness in the world. So it was my turn to repay them big time.
Nicole, I'm off to work. Tammy is coming over for a sleepover.
Again?
Well, sweetie, Tammy's mom has to work a double shift today, so that's why she's sleeping over. Is something bothering you? I thought you enjoyed having Tammy around.
Yeah, I do like having Tammy over, but sometimes I just want a little me time, you know? It feels like she's here almost every other day, and I need some space to recharge. Tammy's dad bailed on her and her mom when she was just 5 years old. From then on, her mom had to hustle and work as a waitress at a local diner. When we were little, having Tammy around was a blast. But as we grew up, I started feeling like my personal space was being invaded.
I whipped up some chocolate milkshakes for us. This one looks cute. How come I've never seen this one before?
Tammy! You messed up my cabinet! You know my clothes are always neatly folded!
Chill out, it's just clothes.
It's my clothes!
If you like keeping your wardrobe in a jungle mess, then that's you. Nicole, calm down. I'm putting the shirt back.
I always try my best to be nice and not get upset, but sometimes it's just so hard to always be the nice girl who's okay with everything. Until one day, Tammy pushed things too far. We were lying outside on the lawn, looking up at the clouds. This was our quiet moments together. And of course, Tammy had the most bizarre imaginations.
Oh, I see a gigantic baboon with drumsticks and he even has a slimy frog on his head.
Geez, Tammy, that's quite a combination. I see a big, puffy...
Did you see that?
It's probably a skydiver or a big bird.
What if it's an alien?
Tammy, we're 15 years old. We should be way past the alien phase.
Come on, let's go see. Wait,
I don't know why I didn't pull back from going with her. I guess part of me also wanted to see what it was that suddenly fell from the sky.
I told you it was a skydiver.
A very hot one.
Ew, you like him.
We don't even know him.
Let's go before he sees us.
And obviously, Tammy did the opposite.
Hey there, handsome boy. Where are you from?
Huh? From the city, Philadelphia.
Don't be scared. We won't bite. My friend here thinks you're cute. Can we get your number?
Wow, I didn't think girls from a small country like this would be so forward. I'll give you my number, only if I could take both of you out.
Sorry, I'm not on the market.
I was, dying of embarrassment when that boy kept stealing glances at me. Tammy seriously had no filter. She just kept putting me in these super awkward situations. It was like cringe city all the way.
What's your name, by the way? I'm Tammy, and my beautiful friend there is Nicole. You won't find a good girl like her around, so better catch her while you can.
I'm Denver. And does your friend have a voice or what? It seems like you're the spokesperson for the duo.
Oh, sorry about that. She is just very shy. Get over here. Nicole, come meet your future husband.
Tammy, that's enough. I'm going home.
Nicole, wait for me.
I was fuming inside, and Tammy didn't get the picture.
Nicole, why didn't you wait for me? You humiliated me in front of that guy. Why would you tell him that I liked him? Because you said he was cute, and I think he could like you too. I have his number, and you can call him.
Tammy, stop! You never know when to stop. And when a friend tells you a guy is cute, you don't do things like this. You keep it to yourself, and we speak about it in secret. That's what normal friends do. So I'm not a normal friend to you? I don't think you're capable of being normal, Tammy. You are self-absorbed, never listen to anything but your own voice, and think you know it all. I wished I didn't care so much for her so that I didn't have to feel so bad about what I said. But after that day, our friendship collapsed. Over time, Tammy stopped visiting our house with her mom, and I missed her.
Is Tammy okay? Yes, she met this new guy and she's always out and about, but she's happy, so I'm happy. I'll let her know you asked about her.
A part of me wished that Tammy would come over and tell me all about her exciting love life, but I guess our friendship was truly over, and I had myself to blame for that. I started to put more focus on my goals, completing high school and managed to get a student loan to further my studies in music. And while studying, I also opened up some extra classes to teach kids from home. And then one day when I got home from my studies, I found Tammy's mom crying on my mom's shoulders.
What happened? Why is she crying? Tammy ran away with a boy, and she won't answer her phone. Is there anything I can do? If you know of any other way we could reach out to her, that would be great.
I wasn't really into the whole social media scene, but I had an Instagram and Facebook account with a grand total of 10 followers. But Tammy, oh man, she was all about that attention. She'd constantly be posting on all her social media accounts, soaking up the likes and comments.
Wow, so she went after the city boy, Denver.
I didn't like seeing her mom so sad, so I had to go find her and bring her back home. I had never been to the city before, so naturally I was a bit nervous. Dad offered to come along with me, but I knew he had a ton of cars lined up for the week at the shop. Mom and Tammy's mom were both working on their jobs too, so taking time off wasn't an option for them.
Thank you for doing this. I know my Tammy has always been on the wild side of life, but whenever she was around you, she was good. I hope you come back with her.
I will. Let's hope she listens to me, even though we're not that close anymore.
Best friends always find their way back to each other.
I did my research using all the Tammy social media information. There was this restaurant she and this Denver guy kept taking selfies at, so that was my starting point. Hi, can I have a glass of water, please? Oh, I meant from the tap.
We don't serve tap water here. That'll be $5.
$5 for water? The bartender seemed rude, but I have to admit, everything about his looks was breathtaking. I always had a thing for tall guys, and this one was tall and gorgeous.
You are new around here? You look like you stepped out of a farm or something.
You have a very ugly way of saying things. I come from Camden Country. It's a small country, and we like keeping things simple, if that's what you call farm style.
Okay, farm girl. What are you doing in Philadelphia?
I'm looking for my friend.
If that's your friend, then I probably shouldn't be talking to you. I definitely don't want to get mixed up in any of that mess. Her boyfriend's family is, notorious for running this city with all their shady criminal activities.
I was shocked at what he told me, and very worried about Tammy. Please, if my friend is in any trouble, I need to know where I can find her.
I told you, I don't want to get involved. Those people are not to be messed with.
Please, her mom is devastated and she's a good person. We are good people. I glared at him with puppy dog eyes, which usually work to convince people.
Okay, wait for me after my shift. This is my number.
Kevin, thank you. I'm Nicole. I had to find something to do while waiting for him, but after what he told me, I couldn't stop thinking about Tammy. While waiting for Kevin, I thought I would explore the city a little, and when I passed a small coffee shop, my heart skipped a beat when I saw Tammy through the glass window. She looked like she was crying in front of Denver, who looked more grown now. Tammy, talk to me. I never saw Tammy look this sad in her life, and this wicked boy taking her away like that made me even more determined to find out more. If she was in trouble, I was going to save her. Kevin thankfully kept to his word and let me ride with him on his scooter to Denver's family house.
Okay, so this is where they live, and as you can see, it's not easy to get in. These guys have, like, heavy security.
Yeah, what do we do now?
The deal was I show you where they lived, so here it is. Goodbye. Don't do that.
I didn't do anything. My sad puppy dog eyes did it once again, and thank goodness, Kevin had a conscience. It was hard for him to leave me stranded in front of a big wall.
I'll try to get you in, and then my work here is done, right?
Right. We waited till it was dark, and then I had to face my fears once again. This wall was the tallest I'd ever seen, and Kevin almost fell over the edge trying to pull me up. What if they have dogs?
This family isn't pet-friendly, but they do have a bunch of bodyguards and cameras, so we have to be extra careful.
Eventually, when we got over the wall, we had to think about how to get past those huge bodyguards. Maybe there's a way around the back.
Oh, yeah. Well, why don't we come out from behind this tree and search for the back entrance? Yeah, I'm sure those bodyguards are blind.
We can't stay here forever.
Hold on. Look, they're going away. Let's go.
We took this opportunity to get closer to the mansion, trying our best for the cameras not to spot us. We managed to get to a back entrance and found a door.
Wow, it's open. Something must be on our side here.
The entrance through the door took us to a small, dusty basement with lots and lots of boxes. At least we made it inside somewhere.
I have no idea how we're gonna get your friend, but I know it's very risky.
I know, and thank you for coming all this way with me.
It's okay. Now what do we do next?
The person who opened the door to the basement from inside the mansion stepped in further like he was looking for something. We were freaking out like two fishes about to get caught in a net. I've never been so terrified in my life. And I've never been this close to a guy in my life. Kevin smelled so good, and being in his arms felt even better.
He's gone.
I think this was a bad idea. We could get into so much trouble.
Relax. We're safe for now, and you're not alone.
Since we are already in here, I think we should take another leap of faith and get into the mansion.
Yeah? Are you ready to get locked away in prison for trespassing?
Kevin and I opened our mouths in shock after we saw all the cash that fell out of one of the boxes.
All these boxes are filled with money. How is that possible? No one in the city has this much cash lying around.
Unless it's fake.
You might be right. I got into trouble a few times at the restaurant for not checking the money customers pay with, and I'm always so careful. This looks real.
That's what money launderers do. They make it look real. I watched this movie once, and this feels exactly like that movie, where this family is unbelievably rich using fake cash.
I told you these people were dangerous. Even the cops let them go scot-free.
Not in my town. I'm gonna get some proof on—
Shh! I hear something.
I could hear Tammy crying up above us, and my heart pounded with rage, wishing to go up there and save her from whatever was going on. But instead, I had a better plan.
Smart girl.
I just want to go back home. Please, I don't want to do any more crime.
Remember, if you don't do this, your mom will lose her job and you two will end up on the streets.
I don't care. I'd rather be on the streets than change your fake money to be real.
Tammy, you're making me angry. Now take this bag. The night malls are waiting for you. You need new clothes. And don't think of running. My bodyguards will be right behind you.
Tammy sounded so scared, and I had all the proof I needed to put this family away for good.
Your friend is headed out, which means they'll open the gates. Can you run?
I was never much of an athlete, but yeah, this is our chance to get out. The coast was still clear, so Kevin and I hid behind the tree again, waiting for the gates to open.
As soon as the gate opens and we see the car exit, we need to run like lightning before the gate closes again.
I took a deep breath in and prepared my mind to be Superwoman. This was a huge risk to take. We had no other choice but to be brave. We made it. Thank you so much. I have all the evidence I need to help my friend.
I'm glad I could assist.
I guess this is goodbye.
Well, it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
We could be friends, or more if you want that, since we only just met, like, today. I like you.
I took the courage and decided to be a little bit forward. Kevin was a good person, and I like him too. This is my number. Call me, and maybe we could be more. With the evidence I had, the police from my small country got the CIA involved, and Denver and his family were locked away for a very long time. I would like to give thanks for my best friend Nicole. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here today, and I'm grateful and wiser because of you. I appreciate you too, my friend. I was glad to have my friend back, and she grew up a lot, and we both learned a lesson about trusting just anyone. Denver was hot, but a devil in disguise. Always analyze the situation before you end up in trouble.
Whoa, that was close.
Ever since I was little, Dad and I have always been like two peas in a pod. We lived by the sea and swam together with the sea animals every day. But my mom, aka Miss Perfect, was never happy about anything. She loved complaining. Oh, and I forgot to mention, please like and subscribe to Storytime Animated.
Mom, meet my pet, Inky. Dad and I saved it from a shark.
What? Sea animals are not pets. They're dangerous. Your father knows better. We work with them every day. You're too paranoid. She loves the octopus, and it's harmless. She can keep it.
My parents worked together as marine scientists at a multi-billion government research lab named Vaught's Lab. But they never saw eye to eye on things, especially with the sea animals they worked with. And she always liked picking a fight with Dad about money. Once Dad took us out to a fancy restaurant for my 15th birthday, Mom looked at the bill and threw such a tantrum, embarrassing both me and Dad.
Why would you bring us to a place that would cost us an arm and a leg? Calm down, darling. We can afford it. And plus, it's for our baby girl. Well, our lifestyle is getting a little too expensive, and one of us has to do something to make sure we don't lose everything.
I didn't know what Mom was talking about, but all I knew is that she just ruined my birthday. And then soon after, the next worst thing in my life happened. It happened during my school's talent show. I had been performing with Inky when cops suddenly stormed into the auditorium and headed straight for Dad and the crowd of parents.
Mr. Johnson, we're here to arrest you for fraud and illegal trade of sea animals from Vaught's Lab.
I couldn't believe my ears. I knew my dad. He loved animals. He'd never sell them. I ran down from the stage and grabbed the cop.
Let him go! My dad is innocent!
But they pushed me away like I was an insect and dragged Dad away. Everyone in the auditorium stared at us, and I was so embarrassed. After that day, Dad's face was plastered all over the media. And in school, whispers started to fly around about my family. And one day, I overheard Elijah, a cop's son in my school, discussing my business in a crowd of people, and it drove me crazy.
Don't you have something better to do than gossip?
Like committing fraud?
I lost it and pounced on him, but after a few seconds, the principal showed up and dragged me away from Elijah into his office, where he dropped a bombshell.
You'll be expelled.
What? That's not fair!
I don't want to do this, but your father offended the government, and it puts this school in a bad spotlight. There's nothing I can really do.
Like an outcast, I was banished from the school grounds. The only way my family and I would be fine again is if my dad was proven innocent. So I decided to snoop around the lab where my parents worked. As soon as Mom found out what I was up to, she went crazy.
Give it up! Your dad is a criminal! Do you also want to follow in his footsteps?
I couldn't believe the words coming out of her mouth.
Dad is not a criminal, Mom. Someone's probably setting him up.
We need to search the lab. Dad keeps everything from work in there.
There are harmful chemicals in there. I am not letting you in. And stay away from the investigation. If the cops find out what you're up to, they could arrest you for interfering, and you'll end up like your criminal father.
Jeez, it feels like you don't care that Dad is in jail.
Mom ignored me, and her actions just didn't make any sense. Why was she not concerned about Dad the way I was? Mom started acting strange. Like one day, I opened my cupboards and found all my swimsuits shredded into pieces.
Mom, what is the meaning of this?
I'm just protecting you. Who knows? Maybe you carry the same madness like your dad. The further you stay away from the sea, the better.
The next day, she installed security cameras all over the house to make sure I never went near the sea or the aquarium. Well, she missed a spot, the backyard.
Get back into the house right now!
Mom's punishment made me so sad that I confided in Inky one morning. Even though he was an animal, I felt he understood me more than people. Sometimes, I feel like Mom hates me. Inky pointed one of his tentacles to a poster of an event Dad wanted to take me to before his arrest.
STA invites you to their annual Marine Life Festival, where we can all be free like the fish. Inky, you're a genius! You're right, I can find people that know Dad at that event and ask them questions.
The next day, as soon as Mom left for work, I snuck out of the house in a disguise to the festival. As I walked around searching for familiar faces, I bumped into Elijah. And I hated to admit it, but he looked different, cuter. Not like it made any difference. He was the last familiar face I wanted to see.
Are you blind? Couldn't you see me coming?
Sorry, I got distracted taking pictures of dolphins.
Was he apologizing? That didn't sound like Elijah at all. Maybe it was because he couldn't recognize me. Either way, I felt like a huge jerk.
I'm sorry for yelling at you. Is that one of the pictures?
Yeah, just a couple of basic photos the organizers hired me to take.
Wow, he was a really good photographer.
They're perfect.
I could take one of you if you want.
Of course I do.
I posed next to the dolphins and Elijah took some great photos.
You are so photogenic. I feel like I've seen you before. What's your name?
I'm Kat. I have to go now.
Wait, can I at least get your number?
I quickly wrote down a fake number and hurried off before he recognized me. When I got home, Mom was waiting for me in my room.
What are you doing in my room?
Did you really think I wouldn't notice your disguise at an event where my workplace was a sponsor?
Okay, maybe I should have done some browsing before sneaking out, but I had no idea Elijah was going to publish my photos.
I'm sorry. I just needed to clear my head. A lot has been weighing on me, and Inky is the only one here for me. You're never here.
And now, he'll no longer be, because of your silly act.
Mom suddenly grabbed Inky's aquarium, and I just couldn't watch her take the only friend I had away.
Mom, please, don't take Inky away! I'm doing this for your own good. Sea animals are dangerous.
Inky squirted some ink at Mom's face in defense.
See? Dangerous! Just like I told you!
He's not! He felt threatened by you!
If you enjoy him that much, I'll lock you two in here forever!
Like a lunatic, Mom grabbed my room keys and stomped outside, then turned around to lock my door.
Mom! Mom! Please unlock my door!
No matter how loud I screamed, Mom pretended not to hear me, and I went over to Inky to complain some more about her. But to my surprise, he attacked me too.
What are you doing? You're hurting me!
After nearly an hour of struggling, Inky released me with a small bite, and when I looked at my face in the mirror, I let out the loudest scream ever, then zoned out. The next time I woke up, I found myself in the hospital with Mom beside my bed.
What happened?
That octopus attacked you! I told you that sea animals were dangerous, but you never listened to me! I already took him out of your room.
Slowly, the events of that day poured into my brain.
No, Mom, you can't! It wasn't his fault!
Shh. Don't stress yourself. I'll bet you're hungry. I'll order some food and head straight to work. See you later.
An hour after Mom left, someone walked into my room, and I was shocked to find Elijah with a pizza box.
Ma'am, you ordered for pizza?
Oh my god, not him again! I pulled the blankets over my face and changed my voice.
Welcome, strange boy I don't know at all. Just drop the pizza on the table and go.
Thank you, Elijah. How do you know my name?
Oops.
Wait a minute.
Elijah suddenly walked up to me and pulled the blanket away from my face.
If it isn't the criminal's daughter.
If it isn't the dude who can't stick to one job, photographer, delivery man, what's the next thing?
That was you at the event? You must have had some fun tricking me, Kat.
You bet I did, and you fell for it.
To my surprise, Elijah slumped beside me with a tired expression.
I guess I did. Deserve that for being a jerk, huh?
Yeah, you were a jerk at school, but I'm over that now.
I guess since I know about your dad, it's only fair I tell you about mine. He did some investment that didn't pay too well, and now he's broke. I have to work multiple jobs to help out.
I'm sorry about that. I wish there was something I could do to help.
It's fine. I'm sorry about your dad, too. I don't really think he's a criminal. I was just being a jerk.
Elijah and I became cool, and when the hospital discharged me, he dropped me home, and to my surprise, Mom was quite welcoming. I guess my illness made her relax a little.
Why don't you come over for dinner someday? You can bring your parents, too. Sure will, ma'am. Goodbye, Elizabeth.
After that day, Elijah and I hung out a few times around the beach, and I carefully followed Mom's instructions. I avoided the sea and never asked about Inky, so she wouldn't get upset with me again, which made her happy. But then, one midnight, I noticed something strange. I heard some noise and looked through the window, only to find Mom talking to some strange men beside a truck. It made me really curious, and I tiptoed outside to check what they were up to. And you'd never guess what I found at the back of the truck. Aquariums! Lots and lots of them.
Mom? What's going on?
Just some work stuff. Nothing serious. Go back to bed, honey.
But...
Mom gently nudged me into the house, and I couldn't help but wonder why she was acting strange. My gut feeling told me that she was up to something. The next evening, when Elijah and his dad came over for dinner, Mom took a 360 turn.
Thank you for inviting us to dinner. It's good to see you're doing better after your husband's arrest. I know I'm a cop, but if you need a shoulder... Excuse me, you're a what?
Mom quickly rose from her seat and started to yell at Elijah's father like a maniac.
I don't want cops in my house! After what you did to my husband, you have so much guts! Leave this instant!
Jeez, what was wrong with her? Mom, please.
Don't worry, we're leaving. You're right. It was rude of me to show up here.
As soon as Elijah and his dad left, Mom faced me.
Didn't I warn you to stay away from the investigation?
I didn't know his dad was a cop. And since when did you care about Dad's arrest so much that you don't want a cop around?
Why don't you stay out of adults' business? Go play with your dumb octopus or something.
You took him away, remember? I miss Dad so much. You're so mean.
I dashed up to my room and shut the door behind me. I had just about enough of Mom and her harshness towards me. As I was lying in my bed, lost in thought, I suddenly heard pebbles softly hitting my window. It was Elijah! Oh, I was so excited to see him! With my help, he climbed into my room and I hugged him.
I'm so sorry about my mom's outburst. It's okay. I wanted to make sure you were all right.
I was tired of keeping everything to myself and decided to let it all out.
I'm not. Mom is so difficult to live with, and she's been acting strange. I think she's up to something. Yeah, her outburst at the table today was unusual. What do you think we should do?
Investigate. I need to find out why she's suddenly acting this way. We'll start with that lab of hers.
I hid Elijah in my room for a few hours until I was certain Mom wouldn't be in the lab, at which point we snuck out and were met by Mom's security system.
Do you have any idea what it might be?
Yeah, I think I saw her type her password on her laptop once. Let me try anglefish.
And voila! It worked! Elijah and I went in and found so many animals and aquariums in the lab, including my pet octopus, Inky. I found some stash of papers near his aquarium and studied them.
Are those receipts and invoices?
Yes. I think my mom has been the one stealing sea animals from her workplace and selling them to people. And she was going to sell Inky as well. Poor Inky. No wonder he attacked me.
He could sense he was in danger when I couldn't even tell. Octopuses were really smart. I looked around and noticed that there was a lot of evidence against Mom, showing that she had framed Dad for her crimes.
Quick, take pictures of everything you find, Elijah. This is evidence that my dad is innocent.
Elijah started taking pictures and I grabbed Inky's aquarium. As soon as he was done, we hurried to the door, but not fast enough because Mom walked in on us.
If it isn't my foolish daughter and her boyfriend, you two should have never come here.
Give it up, Mom. We know what you've been up to. That's why you freaked out when you found out Elijah's dad was a cop, huh?
I was doing everything in here for us, but your foolish father, like you, couldn't understand. You two think you're so clever, but I'm making a lot of money for our family. How do you think we managed to afford all this?
I didn't ask you to commit crimes to make money. I just wanted a mother, and you were a terrible one.
Shut up, you ungrateful child!
Mom blocked the doorway with her body.
You'll have to go through me!
Well, that was easy. I held onto Inky as I ran, head straight into Mom, pushing her to the ground.
Come on, Elijah, let's hurry!
You'll regret this!
As Elijah drove us to his, 3 dark cars suddenly showed up and started chasing us. Elijah surprised me with his driving skills and managed to lose them.
Where did you learn to drive like that?
My dad is a cop, remember? I learn a lot from him.
As soon as we reached Elijah's house, he reversed his bike and his dad immediately came out.
Dad, we need your help urgently. What's wrong?
My mom is after us. We found out she framed my dad for her crimes. We have all the evidence here.
Wow, that's a lot. Hold on, kids. I'll get my keys and drive you to the station.
I didn't hesitate to expose my mom because what she did was so wrong and didn't even care about Dad, who always treated her like a queen. The next day, the news about Mom's crimes spread like wildfire, and she was arrested by a team led by Elijah's dad right before she could escape. He got a huge raise for his involvement in the case.
I never got the chance to say thank you for helping me. You're an amazing person.
You're amazing too. I hope we never stop being friends.
When my dad was released from prison, I was over the moon.
Dad, I've missed you so much. You weren't around and Mom made my life hell.
I heard about that. I wish she had listened to me, but she got too greedy.
Well, it doesn't matter now. She's paying for her crimes.
Yeah, you're right. Let's go home.
I'd take spending time with the people I loved any day over wealth and theft.
Are too fresh. I need backup at the rear of the store. Suspect is a Caucasian male, mid-20s, wearing a dark hoodie. didn't think we'd catch you, did you?
Hi, I'm Dazzle from California. I had a tough childhood. My dad and mom used to be a happy couple, with dad treating mom like a queen. They wanted to live their lives, just both of them. But when mom saw her friends having kids, she became jealous and insisted on having a child too. That child turned out to be me. Dad adored me and quickly adjusted to being a dad, but mom couldn't take that she had to share dad.
Darling, my little finger hurts. I need a massage.
Oh, sorry, dear. Just hold on. Let Dazzle finish this bottle.
No, I want it now!
Belinda, you mean I should just deny our baby food for your massage? What is wrong with you?
Baby, more like a husband snatcher.
To mom, I was a rival for dad's attention, and she couldn't make sacrifices to take better care of me. One day, when I was just 3, mom insisted on going to a party, so she had no choice than to take me with her. It was on a rooftop, and when everyone left, she left too, forgetting I was there. Just one look over the edge of the rooftop had me shaking and crying before dad burst in and saved me.
Daddy!
Dazzle, oh my angel, I am so sorry. Daddy's here now, okay?
But it wasn't okay. I started showing signs of acrophobia thanks to that experience. First, I wouldn't let Dad lift me up or put me on his shoulders anymore. Then, I refused to look out from my bedroom balcony. Dad covered my balcony with paper, but I didn't even want a room upstairs anymore. So Dad moved my stuff to the room downstairs. Mom had no remorse, and it made Dad so mad that one day he couldn't take it anymore.
Is it just me, or do you seem not to care that our daughter is now afraid of heights thanks to your carelessness?
Oh, let me be! I just left her there for 1 hour and she's sulking. Ignore her, and you will see that she will stop the drama.
Ignore her? You can't bring a child into the world and not be responsible for her.
You know what? I have had enough of you fawning over that brat like she's the only one in the world. Choose, me or Dazzle.
Dad thought Mom was kidding, but the next morning, Mom packed her bags and left. I was devastated to know that my own mother left because of me. Dad made sure I didn't have time to miss her. After school, he would take me to the bank where he worked as a security guard, and we would be there till he closed for work. This worked well for me because I just loved being around people. But it was then I discovered something about myself. I had an eye for noticing things that were out of place and pointing it out.
Why is there mud on his shoe? Did he step in mud?
Yeah, I guess he did.
There's a bit of something stuck between your teeth. Are you eating on duty?
Most of Dad's coworkers soon began calling me Eagle Eye. Dad didn't find it funny though, because it made him feel embarrassed. But then something happened that made him embrace my insightfulness fully. I was 10, and at the bank as usual, when I noticed a guy wearing a very hefty-looking jacket, as if he couldn't feel the sweltering heat.
Good morning, sir. Are you sick? Why are you wearing that heavy jacket?
My question got Dad's attention, and he caught the man before he could run, discovering that he came to prep the bank for a later bank robbery. The bank was pleased with Dad for a job well done, and even promoted him to becoming the chief of security. It was the happiest I had ever seen Dad since Mom left, and he even threw a party to celebrate.
I'm telling you, it was all thanks to my daughter's eagle eye. I'm so proud of her. Well then, this daughter of yours should ensure she becomes a detective. She would be a good fit.
And that was how, ladies and gentlemen, my dream of becoming a crime scene detective was born. Years flew, and by the time I turned 15, I found it increasingly boring to go to Dad's office after school hours.
Hey, sweet cheeks, remember to pack double lunch for when you come over after school.
Dad, can I come straight home after school or hang out with my friends? I feel like I'm turning into part of the furniture.
What? No way. Are you tired of being our bank's eagle eye already? I see. My baby is all grown now, eh?
It was obvious Dad was disappointed with the development, but thankfully, he let me be. I focused on my studies, and with my hard work and high grades, I graduated from high school at 16, ready to get into a police academy. And that was when chaos ensued. One hot night, I woke up longing for some cold water, so I left to go to the kitchen, but on my way, I heard someone shuffling upstairs. Dad? When I didn't get a response, my senses went on high alert and I rushed upstairs. That was when I saw a figure dash into my former room.
Hey, thief, stop!
I almost caught him, but then he rushed out through the balcony, and the moment I stepped foot there, my fear of heights kicked in, and I almost lost my balance, but Dad was right there in time.
Dazzle, what's going on?
I saw someone. He jumped through here. My next words were cut off at the sound of police sirens. Police! They must be looking for him! Dad helped me downstairs and we quickly opened the door for the officers. But instead of asking about the intruder, they started searching our house.
We have a tip-off that you were part of the gang that just robbed the same bank you work at. What?
What?
Are you crazy? Dad would never. Before I could finish, one of the policemen came out holding a crumpled black bodysuit with a mask.
I found it. This was part of the uniform the robbers used.
When I saw the piece of clothing and the mask the officer held up, I deduced that the intruder was responsible for it.
This can't be my dad. Someone was in our house just now.
Dad showed them the balcony the intruder had torn through, but when the police didn't find anyone, they wouldn't believe anything we said. And just like that, the only person that loved me and cared for me was taken away and locked up. I was mollified. To make the nightmare worse, I was informed that I had to go move in with my mom. I ignored them until a few days later, a social service agent stood at the door to ensure I went to my mom's place, so I had no choice but to pack. On my way out, I spotted an unfamiliar button on the floor of her home. Dad doesn't have any outfit with this kind of button. It was then that it hit me that the button could be from the outfit the intruder wore. If I could find who the jacket belonged to, I could find who snuck into our place and implicated my dad. It was the first thing I planned to do when I got to Mom's place. When I arrived, Mom didn't bother to hide her displeasure, and neither did I.
Hello, Mom.
Hello, the creature that escaped my womb.
Trust me, the feeling is mutual. I would also love to be out of your hair as soon as possible.
How I wish it were as soon as possible. But unfortunately, your father is going to spend many, many years in jail as the heinous thief he is.
He's innocent. I have
what? Proof?
Something about the way my mom said that made me pause. It almost felt like if I dared tell her what I had as proof, she would burn it to pieces.
I asked you, what do you know? Answer me!
Out of nowhere, a ball of something bubbly flew and plastered itself against Mom's hand, crystallizing it instantly like something from a science fiction movie. I was instantly cautious.
Ah! My hand! Ah! Sam, you're dead meat!
But before I could overthink the situation, a girl my age appeared and began to free Mom.
I'm sorry, Ma. It just flew out of my hand.
You useless brat with your useless experiments! You think you're some kind of Isaac Newton? You will never be!
Hey, she already apologized. No need for harsh words.
Oh, shut it! I can't believe I am stuck with two silly girls!
Mom left me there without showing me my room or offering me food, and I struggled to hide my disappointment in her lack of change.
Sorry about that. My experiments tend to get all over the place. Whoa! Are you saying that you made that gum stuff? I can just imagine the police using that to catch bad guys on the run. Phenomenal! You really think so? Thanks. I'm Sam, by the way. You must be Dazzle. Come, we are to share my room.
Sam was Mom's stepdaughter. Her dad passed away a few years ago, leaving her with Mom. And boy, she was a science freak. Her room was filled with awesome science projects of all sorts. My mind was blown.
Girl, you're a genius.
We became quick friends. When Mom said or did something cruel, we would gather behind her back and poke fun at her to our satisfaction. It made her so angry to see us act like real sisters and be happy. So she tried to smother us with work.
You will do the dishes, even the ones on the rack. Clean the whole house. The toilet isn't sparkly enough.
It felt like I would never get the chance to investigate the button I had found. But luck was on my side. One day, Sam and I had just finished cleaning Mom's room when I saw some clothes sticking out from her closet. I moved over to pick them up, and an icy chill went through me when I saw that it was a jacket that had the exact kind of buttons that I had picked up in my house.
Sam, come over here. Is this jacket Mom's? No. Strange. It belongs to her boyfriend, Luke. He wore it here a few months ago.
Could a few months ago be on a Wednesday night?
Yep. Why?
What happened? It was a struggle to control the anger that surged through me as I mentally put the pieces together. Mom's boyfriend, whoever he was the one that snuck into our house. For his jacket to be here, it was a planned deal between him and Mom. Later that night, when I had overcome the shock of Mom's wickedness, I told Sam my suspicions.
So you think your mom and her boyfriend worked together to put your dad in jail?
Yes. Sam, please. I need your help to gather more evidence against Mom, and Mom must not know about this, okay?
Sure. Where do we start?
First, I decided to eavesdrop on all her phone conversations, and for that, Sam was my biggest asset. She tapped into Mom's phone so we could listen in on all her conversations.
We could get in trouble if we got caught, you know. All is fair in love and war. Besides, I consider it practice for my future career as a detective. I want to be a scientist to invent something revolutionary. But Mom says, now listen, sister. Don't ever take anything
anything Mom tells you to heart. She's just jealous she can't do the wonders you do. I bet she doesn't know the formula for water. That gumball alone is gonna take you places. It's still in the testing process, but thanks. No matter how great any of Sam's works were, she never felt confident enough to show the world. I wished I could take it up on me to show off her gift, but catching Mom and her boyfriend was my priority. When we had listened in for days without success, I had to come up with another strategy. Phone call is not working. I'm going to try to follow her physically instead. You mean we? It's going to get riskier. I don't care. I want to help. Sam refused to be persuaded otherwise. So that evening, after Mom announced she was going on a date, Sam and I pretended we had gone to bed, only to slip out through the back door and into her car. Soon, Mom hit the road. Stopping at a fancy restaurant after a solid 20 minutes. Great! How do I follow her now without being recognized? My eyes went to a thrift shop right beside the restaurant, and I got an idea. Moments later, Sam and I came out disguised as a couple and entered the restaurant. We were lucky enough to find a seat right next to Mom and her boyfriend, and I quickly put my phone on record.
No, I will take 60%. I put my daughter's father in jail, and now I have the burden for caring for her, so I deserve more.
I was the one who took the risk of sneaking into their house. I almost broke my leg.
Our undercover mission came to a screeching halt when we saw a waitress coming towards our table.
They were gonna ask us to order. We don't have any money after buying clothes.
Quick, hide! We shoved ourselves under the table before our cover could be blown. After some time, we came out again. But to our horror, Mom and her boyfriend were gone.
Where did they go?
I don't know. Let's check outside. We went outside, but there was no trace of them. That was when I felt the danger of the situation we were in. If Mom had somehow gotten a hint that we were the ones in disguise, how far could she go to keep our mouths shut? I think it's about time we tell the police. I need to find somewhere with a better network. Okay, I'll wait. I didn't have to go far to get network and make my call, but when I returned to where I left Sam...
Sam? Sam, where are you?
All I saw was a piece of paper on the floor that read, "Look up."
Over here, dear Dazzle.
I felt my heart race when I saw Mom and her boyfriend holding Sam up on the rooftop.
Mom, what do you think you're doing? You thought you could fool me? Now this is what will happen.
You will take your phone, smash it to pieces, and leave, or...
It was a tough call.
So, what are you going to do?
There, now let her go.
Go home. Now! And don't speak to anybody about this.
I pretended to leave, only to circle a block and come back. I was worried about Sam. I couldn't trust that Mom would let Sam go just like that. The only option was for me to get on the rooftop, and though the thought of it alone made me sick, I steeled my resolve and began to make my way to the top using the waist chute.
Look at you, Sam! Nothing in this world will make your friend come here! You will always be a loner! Here's to trying to mess with me!
I reached the rooftop just in time to catch Mom about to do something stupid.
Awesome invention, Sam. Just awesome. Dazzle!
You... How did you...
I just have one question for you, Mom. Why?
Your dad dared to put me in second place! I can't forgive that!
You are the one that packed up and left. Why did you have me when you were not ready to have kids? The police came, the evidence of the buttons, Mom's former history with Dad, and our situation when we were found was enough to put Mom behind bars for a long time. Our story went viral. The police academy I had applied for weeks ago sent me an acceptance letter along with a scholarship offer, and Sam's sticky balls invention was bought by the government. Dad was instantly released with heavy compensation, and he was more than happy to adopt Sam after Mom's conviction. Considering how Mom ended up, I resolved never to do things just because others are doing it. Going to college, getting married, having kids. This is all serious stuff one needs to think about and be totally prepared to undertake. Everyone's clock ticks differently.
Isabella, you ruined my flowers!
But you have your own garden at your house, Abuela.
So now you're rude and reckless. What are your parents teaching you?
I hated it whenever my papa's mother, Abuela Rose, visited. She was always so controlling and spoiled all my fun.
Isabella, come on, it's story time.
That was my little brother, Juan, and we were from a small village in Mexico. Our parents were both awesome archaeologists. Juan and I practically grew up on their stories, and that's how I fell in love with adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
The Spanish conquistadors wanted the mirror of Tezcatlipoca from the ancient Aztec people.
But the Aztecs hid it because it was too dangerous in the hands of humans.
Why?
It can cross realms. If it falls into the wrong hands, it can be misused. I'm scared.
I'll find the mirror and protect you.
What if monsters crawl out and grab you? Sometimes they even took us along on their adventures. Juan was the scaredy cat, always hiding behind his books, while I was the fearless, adventurous one, like my parents. Actually, scratch that. I was even worse. A reckless daredevil, jumping headfirst into every situation without ever thinking twice.
Berries!
That's a pokeberry. It's poisonous.
Oops, I already swallowed.
My parents weren't so thrilled about my recklessness, and they always made sure to tell me.
Isabella, you need to be more responsible and careful. You almost got hurt.
Of course, Papa.
Well, let's just say I learned my lesson for just about 5 minutes.
Race you to the top!
No matter what I did, they loved me so much, and home was fun whenever Abuela wasn't around. When she was always arguing with my parents about money.
The kitchen window has been broken for days. It needs to be changed.
I'll fix it tomorrow.
It's cranky. It has to be changed, not fixed.
Just like her.
Things are tight. Then work harder to make money. You know you still have a choice, right? You can still use
Never. It's too dangerous.
What were they talking about? As Juan and I pressed harder against the door, it swung open, and my parents were glaring at us.
We didn't really hear anything, right, Juan?
What have I told you about lying, Mia?
Fine. I'm sorry, okay? I was just curious.
Don't eavesdrop on us next time. We discuss adult things children shouldn't hear.
Fortunately, Mom and Dad weren't really mad at Juan and I that night. But in the following days, I caught Abuela snooping around in Papa's study room a few times where he kept all his research papers.
Oh, Isabella, I didn't see you there.
Are you looking for something, Abuela?
Just my glasses. Oops, look at the silly thing.
It was really suspicious, and on the day I wanted to tell my parents, they received a phone call.
1 minute, honey. You're hurt? Don't worry, Gerald. We'll come get you. Darling, Gerald fell from a tree. There's no one around him. He needs our help.
Okay, let me grab the car keys.
We'll be back, Mia. Take care of Juan.
In a flash, they were out of the house, hurrying outside the village. Little did I know that that was the day my life was going to change forever, because they never came back. Juan and I spent the next few days asking everyone for them and looking everywhere.
Mama! Papa!
But unfortunately, our efforts didn't pay off, and a few days later, Abuela came over and made us move in with her. It was the worst thing ever. She came up with a whole list of ridiculous rules that Juan and I had to follow.
No laughing too loud? How do you control that?
You learn. It's about time you children understand the word discipline.
My adventure days also came to an end because we were not allowed anywhere outside the village. Abuela made sure the entire village was always watching us. It was like she didn't even care that Mama and Papa were missing or us going out and searching for them. Whenever I asked, it was always the same answer.
Don't worry. They'll be found.
What if they're not? We have to go out of the village and search for them.
They were captured by some bad men who are also looking for us. We can't risk going out.
How do you know this? Which bad people?
Mind your business, Isabella, and stay out of big people problems.
Abuela was so unbelievable. To make matters worse, I noticed that she was meeting a strange, fancy man every night.
Who do you think he is?
Maybe that's the cop looking for Mama and Papa.
He looks too fancy to be a cop.
The next day was Dia de los Muertos. You know, the day when we dress up like skeletons and celebrate our dead like in that movie Coco? Yep. I noticed Abuela and the strange man again and followed them. Of course, I blackmailed Juan into tagging along.
Come on. What if something gets me on the way? Like snakes?
Fine, I'm coming. But if anything happens, remember I warned you.
Yeah, whatever.
Together, we crept behind them all the way to my parents' house.
What are they doing here?
Only one way to find out.
We waited for them to go in before we tiptoed in and found them ransacking Father's study.
He said it was here.
Maybe he was lying.
Not possible. He and his wife will do anything to see those kids.
Oh my god! Abuela knew where my parents were! No wonder she was acting strange. As we watched them, I suddenly felt the floor move under my feet. It was a hidden trapdoor. We opened it and found a journal and a map. They belonged to Papa. Juan and I didn't waste any time going through them.
Remember that story Mama and Papa told us about the mirror of Tezcatlipoca?
Yes?
It's real. They found it. I think that's what Abuela and that man are after.
This has to be the map to the mirror. I bet it can lead us to Mama and Papa. We snuck out of the study to our old bedroom and dusted off our trusty backpacks and filled them up with all the clothes and gear we used on our previous adventures with Mama and Papa. Then crept to the kitchen and got some snacks, but on our way to the door, Abuela and her friend bumped into us. Oh my god, we were in so much trouble.
What are you two doing here?
Hi, Abuela. We were just looking for…
A toothbrush. I lost it the last time I was here.
A toothbrush? At this time of night?
Suddenly, a grappling hook dangled out of Juan's backpack.
Don't tell me you're leaving the village! Run!
I grabbed Juan's arm and we raced out of the house right into a dense forest where we came across bandits.
That old woman better find that map. I can't wait to get paid. And me too.
They're working for Abuela. I have to deal with them.
What? Don't even try to do anything crazy.
But before Juan could stop me, I'd already gotten out a jar of hot sauce from my backpack. Remember the time you had this?
Yes, I spent hours in the toilet.
Exactly. Can't have them chasing us, can we? I crawled over to the pot of food they had over the fire, about to dump it all in, but I stepped on a twig, suddenly alerting them. Oops.
Who are you?
Come on, think fast, Isabella. I suddenly came up with an idea.
How fare you, friends? I'm a lonely entertainer just traveling the forest.
I peeped at Juan, and he looked embarrassed, but I didn't care.
Do you think we're joking around?
Of course not! How about I take those frowns off your faces with my dance?
My dance moves were so funny that Juan let out a chuckle, and they saw him immediately.
That's, my singer. He sings and I dance.
Matter of fact, Juan was a terrible singer.
One kiss is all it takes.
When I noticed that the bandits were distracted, I revealed my hot sauce jar and spilled it at their faces. It was funny watching them crash into each other.
Come on, let's leave before they come after us.
Juan and I ran until we reached a stream.
That was fun.
Fun? It was dangerous. Sometimes I wish you thought things through before doing them.
Scaredy cat. Come on, let's change out of these.
Juan and I changed into another pair of clothes, then I got the map from my bag and we studied it together, then ate a few snacks and continued our long journey. And boy, the things we saw.
Snake! Ah! This was a bad idea.
It's too late to turn back now. First snakes, then an alligator. Run!
I wonder what's next.
Just great. Come on, let's keep walking before they see us. That night, we found a small abandoned hut where we decided to rest, but the next morning, a loud sound woke us. This trip couldn't get any crazier.
Oh no, what are we gonna do?
Shoot, Jaguar! Go away!
I don't think that's going to work.
Great. I couldn't see this ending well at all for either of us. But suddenly, this strong, handsome boy jumped out in front of us and jumped on the jaguar's back like a knight and gave it a shot of something that made it slump.
It's not dead, right? No, just gave it a shot of tranquilizer. Are you two all right? Sure. Thanks, man. What about you, Isabella?
You're really good at catching jaguars. I think I fell in love right there. He was so handsome, like a fairy tale Prince Charming, and so strong. I mean, look at his biceps. I bet they felt like a tree trunk. I could picture myself melting like butter in his strong arms. Are you a magician? Because whenever I look at you, everyone else disappears.
I'm going to puke.
I ignored Juan and clung onto the guy like he was already my man. So, what's your name?
Diego, are you guys all right? Your parents sent me. What do you mean? I'm part of the research team. They sent me after you, saying something about bad men and an evil abuela. Luckily, I bumped into you here.
Oh my god, are they all right? Can you take us to them?
They're all right, but I lost them. Wait, how do we know you're telling the truth? This.
All right, we have a map leading us to them. You could tag along.
What map? Can I see? Isabella, can I speak to you for a moment?
Juan pulled me to the side, and he looked really worried.
Don't you think it's weird that he showed up when a jaguar was about to attack us, and now he's asking for the map?
You're too paranoid. He showed us proof.
I don't trust him, and I think I'll hang on to this.
Whatever, I trust him. Much to Juan's disapproval, Diego stuck beside us throughout our journey. I was happy about it, but of course, Juan wasn't.
How did you even learn to do that cool move on the jaguar? I bet you had the coolest martial arts teacher.
He only tranquilized it.
In a few days, we got to the end of our journey, reaching the old Aztec ruins on the map.
Holy smokes! I can't believe my eyes! I'm standing right where Aztecs used to live centuries ago. Someone pinch me. Ow! Not literally!
Juan, Diego, and I explored the ruins for a while until we found a hidden chamber.
The paintings are so beautiful.
Suddenly, we saw eyes glowing at us from the shadows and huddled against each other, scared.
I have a bad feeling about this.
They're just bats. They're everywhere.
We should get out of here. Come on.
We followed Diego out, and the next place we found ourselves in was a palace.
Whoa.
Hey guys, what's this?
A sunstone, the ancient calendar of the Aztecs.
I wonder what it does.
I think I saw something like that in Papa's journal.
As Juan went through Papa's journal, Diego joined him, and it made him mad.
Hey man, stay in your lane. Sorry.
Don't worry, you can join me here, Diego.
Look here, it says we need to turn the stone counterclockwise 3 times, then clockwise twice.
What's happening?
Immediately, the altar before us started to part, revealing a golden box. As soon as it finished, the rumbling stopped.
Holy smokes, it's the mirror!
Oh my god, I can't believe it. I bet it can show us where Mom and Dad are.
As we talked, we didn't notice when Diego snuck up behind us and shot tranquilizers into our backs.
Diego, what are you doing?
The next time we opened our eyes, we were tied up. Diego was right in front of us, smirking with the mirror in his hand.
Diego, I can't believe you betrayed us.
You shouldn't have trusted me. I warned you. You're so reckless. That's why we're in this mess. You never stop to think about the consequences of your actions or anything. It's always about you.
Juan's words shocked me, and I felt so guilty about everything. I'm so sorry, Juan. I'm so sorry. Before Juan could say anything, Abuela and the bandits from earlier walked in, dragging my parents behind them.
Mama! Papa! Kids, you shouldn't have come here. You led that traitor here. He used to work with us until he was paid to betray us. Still mad about the fake phone call. Relax, bro.
It's not over, Gerald.
Wait, his real name is Gerald? Like the guy that called you saying he was hurt?
Jeez, what else was the guy lying about?
Enough! Where's the mirror?
Diego strolled over to Abuela and gave her the mirror like he was her minion.
What do you even need it for, Abuela? I owe Senor Garcia a debt. He's paying me millions of dollars for that mirror. Think of how rich we're about to be.
Don't listen to her. The worst thing I ever did was tell your abuela about the mirror.
No wonder she was always snooping around our house.
You never listen to me. This is why we always argue.
They started arguing, and I used the opportunity to reach into my backpack for the knife I had packed earlier. When I noticed they weren't watching, I cut my ropes and Juan's.
Thank you.
I'm really sorry for not listening to you, Juan.
I'm sorry for yelling at you too.
You were right. I'm too reckless, which is why I need the smartest person I know now. Can you come up with a plan to get us out of here?
Yes. Now that everyone's watching Abuela and Papa argue, go over to the sunstone and twist it. I'll grab the mirror from Abuela.
I crept over to the sunstone and twisted it, and the ground began rumbling again. Everyone panicked.
The building is about to fall!
Juan ran over to Abuela and snatched the mirror from her hand. She tried to fight for it, but the ground's rumbling scared her and her men away.
I've missed you, kids. Your evil abuela kept you away from us just to blackmail your papa, her own son.
I had to tell her where my journal was. Luckily, you got to it first.
We learned from the best.
That's my kids. Come on, let's go home. We know a secret way.
Mama and Papa led us out of the ruins through a narrow passageway, and we immediately went to the town nearby, where we reported Abuela and her cronies to the cops there, getting them arrested. After everything, we returned home, and my parents kept the mirror safe in a place where no one could ever find it. We came back to living as one big family. At the end of my adventure, I realized that I had learned a valuable lesson: the importance of patience and teamwork. Sure, my reckless tendencies got us into trouble, but it was working together with Juan that got us out of it.
Oops, someone's knocking.
I believe you have something of mine.
Hello, my name is Ginger, and I'm from New Zealand. Please like and subscribe. I was brought up by 2 women who I loved, but also drove me crazy. My mom and her twin sister. They loved to party, and they had no limits to their fun.
Mom, it's time for school!
Aunt Jackie fell off the sofa while Mom dragged her way to the kitchen. This was the usual Monday after their wild weekends.
Here you go, hon. Here's your lunch.
I already have my lunch, Mom. I was just getting you up for work. I'm taking the school bus today. Bye. I had to grow up pretty fast for my age, since Mom was always at her office job and I was left with my childish aunt. And the #1 rule at home was never to mention the word dad. I learned that once when I was around 10 and wanted to know about mine.
Mom, how come you never talk about my dad?
I don't know what happened, but Mom started having a panic attack and even broke a glass.
Ginger, don't ever mention the word dad in this house again.
Okay.
Yeah, because I really cared about Mom. I never asked again. At school, some called me Miss Perfect because I always carried a tissue around to wipe the dust off my seat. I was not a clean freak or a neat freak. I was just specific about the way I wanted to be. My role model was Queen Elizabeth. She was a lady of etiquette. Unlike my mom's twin sister, aka Auntie Freak, she was worse than a barbarian.
Come on, Cookie. I'm going to miss my favorite TV show.
My name is not Cookie, Auntie, and you don't have to blow your horn. I'm right here.
Now just get in, Miss Perfect Pants. You need to let go and be free sometimes.
I think I prefer being Miss Perfect Pants than Miss Messy Face.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Even though Aunt Jackie was always home, the house was a mess. All she did was watch TV, and at night she would go out and come back early in the morning. She said she was going to work, but never helped Mom with any of the bills. And then as I got older, I decided to confront Mom about Aunt.
Mom, Aunt Jackie left the kitchen in a mess again, and now she's gone out to her secret job.
It's okay, I'll clean up.
Why is she even living with us? She does nothing.
Because she is my sister, and we've never been separated.
Don't you care about how I feel? Aunt Jackie is so messy, and she's always calling me Cookie in front of my friends. I hate it.
We both love you very much, Ginger. Don't you think you're being a tad bit overdramatic?
Obviously, Mom loved her sister more than me, since she never cared about what I wanted. I started writing down my goals. My first goal was to leave this house right after school, study business, because I've always wanted to run my own catering business, and then travel the world once I was stinking rich. When I was about to go to bed, I heard some sounds outside. I quickly ran to my window and saw Aunt Jackie, dressed like some sort of Catwoman, holding up a beautiful painting. And then she spoke to the person in front of her. A very attractive person, might I say. I leaned closer to listen carefully.
This is good, but it's still not the one I want. I know. It's not easy to get our hands on that $5 million masterpiece. Yeah, with this I can only pay off some of my debit. You'll find your half in the bank in the morning. Thank you. Until tomorrow? Yeah, I'll call you.
I couldn't believe my ears. My aunt was a thief. And what freaking debit was she talking about? When she lived off my mom? The next morning, I dropped so many hint bombs at the kitchen table. Aunt even spilled all the syrup on her favorite dress.
Yummy! I just love your pancakes, sis.
Me too, Mom. Oh, and Mom, I found this great painting at the art shop. I think it would look great on the living room wall.
When did you become an art lover?
I'm trying out different things. You guys always tell me to let go and be free.
Well, paintings are very expensive. How much was the one you saw?
A couple of million, I think.
I knew you weren't serious. Now eat up. We have to leave.
I wonder what's on the news today.
We don't watch the news in this house, remember? We only like positive vibes.
Yeah, but the news is important sometimes.
When I switched the news on, the headlines were about a missing painting from an up-class art factory. Aunt Jackie was so disturbed, and this is when she drenched her dress in syrup.
Oh, now what you made me do!
How did I?
Forget it! What's up with her?
Maybe she didn't like what she saw on the news. Or maybe she's the one who stole the painting.
Ginger, you say the craziest things. Now go get your backpack, we're leaving.
Mom never took me seriously, and I couldn't just forget what I saw and heard. I excused myself to use the bathroom, and on the way there, I bumped into a guy wearing a hoodie, and then suddenly, he held my hand and took me outside the school.
Hey! Let go of me, you creep! What do you want from me?
Calm down, I'm not a criminal. I just want to talk.
If this is your way of asking a girl out, then the answer is no, weirdo.
When the boy took off his hoodie, I immediately recognized him.
You're that guy from last night. You were in my yard talking to my aunt.
So you did see us. Your aunt was right.
She sent you to me? What are you gonna do? I'll scream!
Relax. My name is Kevin, and I also go to this school.
Well, I never saw you around before.
I try to keep a low profile. Whatever you heard or saw, you have to keep it to yourself. Otherwise, you and your mom will be in a lot of danger.
But my mom and I don't steal paintings. You and my aunt are the criminal art thieves.
That's not true.
Before he could tell me more, the school bell rang for after school. Kids came rushing out, and Kevin magically disappeared. Then I heard Aunt's old Jeep hooter for me. When I got in the vehicle, I was taking no more lies from her.
You sent your guy to finish me out?
Ginger, you need to mind your business with this, okay? Now, how about some ice cream?
No, Auntie! You are going to tell me the truth, or else I'm going to the police!
Aunt Jackie took off so fast that my aunt started racing with the car. She wasn't taking me home, and that freaked me out even more.
Where are you taking me? Mom would never forgive you if she doesn't find me home.
How could you think that I would even try to harm you? I basically raised you with your mom.
But you—
Come on, let's go.
Aunt Jackie really got me feeling emotional when she looked like she was about to cry. And then she told me everything while we looked at some paintings.
You see this piece right here? Just look at the price.
Wow, $500,000 just for that?
Yes, and the name on it is your father's name.
What? Get out of here! My dad is an artist?
A fake artist. He stole all your mom's paintings while she was still pregnant with you. And the next thing, he disappeared. And then months later, he was one of the most famous artists of the century.
But I've never seen Mom paint anything before.
Painting makes her remember him, and then she breaks down. So she avoids it by having a party every weekend with me and working in an office.
Why doesn't she just take him to court or something?
Because your mom has always been a very fragile person. She lets things go, and that's why I'm there, to be strong for her.
I felt terrible for always complaining about Aunt. Meanwhile, all this time, she has been our rock.
We can go for that ice cream now, Aunt.
Aunt Jackie told me that she started stealing Mom's paintings from different art galleries one by one. And then one day, while she was in one of the museums, she found Kevin sleeping inside. He was around 14 when she found him.
Okay, so Kevin was a street kid?
Yes, I found him a good shelter, which I paid towards, and someone to take care of him. This year he followed me to one of my jobs and insisted on helping me. So now we're a team.
But Aunt, what if he gets caught? That would be jail time for both of you.
I know it's a risk. We have one big job to complete, and then we are done.
What do you do with all the paintings?
We have a buyer in the States. We ship them off and he buys them. I give Kevin a share, and the rest I save for a house your mom has always wanted to buy near a lake.
Oh, I see. Well, I want to be there to help out for the last job. Just to be there and make sure no one gets caught, you know?
I'm sorry, but you can't. It's too dangerous, Ginger.
Now that she told me everything, I insisted to be there. I was extremely scared about it. Since all my life I've been so careful about everything. When I was at school the next day, Kevin held my hand and pulled me aside again.
Hey, you can't keep taking me behind trees.
Your aunt told me that you want to join us for the last job. Please don't.
You can't tell me what to do.
Kevin stepped closer to me, and I felt goosebumps all over when I got a closer look at his hazel brown eyes. This guy was on fire.
It can get dangerous. I just don't want you to get hurt.
Thank you for caring about me, but I'm a big girl and I can handle it. If you show me the ropes.
Your aunt was right. You are a tough cookie.
I hate it when she calls me that.
Okay, I'll teach you. After school?
So later after school, Aunt picked both Kevin and I up and took us to a rusty warehouse where the training started. Aunt Jackie took us to an old rusty warehouse where they had a blueprint copy of the museum map. How on earth did they manage to get their hands on it? I don't know. Okay, so the museum is holding a reveal party of the late Queen Elizabeth's painting.
We're not stealing that painting, are we?
No, just the one that belonged to your mom. The last piece of her artwork is going for more than $1 million, and it's the biggest museum in the country.
Great. I think I can pull this off very well. I've always wanted to meet the great Queen Elizabeth, but since that can't happen, this is like a dream come true because I'll be at her party.
So you like being all formal and stuff? Oh, Ginger is a very special. She eats a cheese sandwich with a fork and knife.
Well, I just like being elegant.
Well, I eat with my magic fingers, and it's finger-licking good.
Ew. Okay, we'll have to work on that if we're attending a party on behalf of the Queen.
Okay, enough chit-chat. It's time to prepare.
During my training, I had to face my fear of heights and getting into more risky things like swinging and running really fast. I was really not the sporty type. The fun part was having Kevin there to catch me. He was growing on me, and I couldn't help myself. He was so cute. When the day had finally arrived, I was so nervous. But as we entered the party, I knew I could do this. But as for Kevin, he forgot everything that I showed him. He started with taking all the candy from the table, flipping it up in the air and catching it in his mouth. And there was this old lady with big eyes who looked at him disturbed.
Kevin, you ate almost all the candy on the T-ball.
Oh, I didn't even realize they were so delicious. You should try some.
And then to make things worse, the waiter offered him a glass of sparkling water, and he slurped the glass like he was a freaking camel.
Can I have some more?
Then the old woman who sat next to me leaned over and whispered in my ear.
If he is your boyfriend, then I would say start searching the sea again, because your mannerisms are far better than his.
Thank you, ma'am. He is my friend.
Thank goodness for that. I'm the museum owner, and I must say I'm very impressed by the way you carry yourself.
And then Aunt dropped a serviette on the floor. That was the first signal. She got up, and then I excused myself. I'm going to use the ladies' room.
Oh, take these keys. You can use the premium bathroom closer to the ballroom door.
Thank you, that's very kind. I quickly left the ballroom area and met Aunt outside.
Okay, the security seems very tight today. I'm not sure how we're going to pull this off.
Well, the owner just gave me a bunch of keys to use the premium bathroom.
Are you serious? Her tag is on the keys. Wait, that tag can take us to the vault where the $1 million paintings are kept.
I started freaking out a bit after Aunt Jackie spoke about the tag. I mean, the old lady liked me. How could I deceive her this way? Then Kevin appeared.
Hey, the old woman asked me to check on you. The formalities of the unveiling is about to begin.
Okay, I should go back.
Not so fast. We need those keys.
But the lady already saw my face. What will I tell her if I take too long?
Trust me, she won't know a thing. Now come on, we need to get past security.
Aunt Jackie managed to distract the guards with her charm. Kevin and I slid past the guards and ran through a long red carpet in a corridor. Okay, where to from here? I can't honestly study the map now. I thought we've been through this.
Yeah, well, I don't have a photographic memory. Do you?
Nope. Okay, what does it say?
We need to look for a side door that leads to the vault.
It felt like we were walking for miles looking for a freaking side door. And then we saw 2 bodyguards. And Kevin quickly turned me around to look at a painting on the wall.
This one looks lovely.
You are not supposed to be here.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. I am Veronica, all the way from London. The owner was kind enough to allow me to look around.
Well, she hasn't informed us, so let's go.
Please do call her. Look, I even have her keys, and we all know she never lets go of these keys.
Fine. We will speak to her downstairs.
Wow, that's some good acting.
Well, did I tell you I'm a big fan of the Queen?
We should really start finding that door now.
Kevin and I never gave up on searching for the side door, and once we found it, we used the access card to get in, and there it was, the vault.
We made it!
Okay, do you know which painting we're here for?
Yes, it's the $5 million one. There it is.
I was taken back by the painting my mother drew. It was the most beautiful picture ever. It looked like a baby in a mother's womb. She drew me.
You take the keys and sit back with the owner. Remember to stay calm like nothing is wrong.
When I went into the ballroom, the old lady looked at me sternly, and I was so worried that maybe her bodyguards already spoke to her.
You took quite some time, young lady.
I couldn't believe how smooth that went. So, we actually pulled it off. We stole Mom's painting, sold it, and Aunt did in fact buy her the lake house she always wanted.
Tell me again, sis. How did you really buy this house? I used your date of birth and played the lottery. It was such an easy win. Well, I have a surprise for everyone.
Mom's surprise made us hold our breath. She pulled out a painting that looked exactly like the one we stole. Mom, where did you get that from?
I made it. I painted something like this while I was pregnant with you, and that was taken. But I've healed now, and I'm ready to continue with what I love.
Oh, Mom, I'm so happy for you. Life turned pretty good for all of us. Kevin got into a good university to study criminal law. I laughed, but it was a good move for him, and I started my catering business, plus furthered my studies.
Can I talk to you for a moment?
I still felt goosebumps every time Kevin held my hand, or like this instance, wanted to speak to me alone. I wonder what was up.
I know I'm not your ideal up-class prince sort of guy, but I like you a lot. And
I like you too, and I don't need an up-class prince to make me happy. I feel complete just being around you. Of course, I would teach him how to use a fork and knife, but I think life is perfect with a little bit of imperfect. Don't you think? Hi, I'm Ava, and I grew up in Hollywood with my megastar mom. Everywhere she went, people loved her, and I was the shadow in her life. Mom was so loved by her fans that we couldn't even eat in peace.
Oh, Dora! I'm a big fan. Please, can I get a selfie with you?
Sure.
Thank you. Bye, Dora's daughter.
Dora's daughter, that's what everyone called me. I didn't mind though, because I had my own dreams to be a designer one day. I wanted to stay behind the scenes, just making beautiful clothes for all the stars. Mom wanted me to be just like her. Once when I was in grade 8, while we were in class writing a test, the intercom suddenly came on, and I was so embarrassed by the announcement.
Good day, everyone. We at Premium High would like to say a big congratulations to Ava, who has just been accepted in the Miss Teen Beauty pageant representing the USA. Her mom came all the way to share the news.
I started burning a hot rage inside of me. How could she enter me into a contest without my consent? When I entered our mansion right after school, ready to give Mom a piece of my mind, I found cameramen there, and the makeup lady suddenly rushed up to me to powder my face.
Oh, Ava, baby, you're home. Are you ready to be famous just like your beloved mother?
Have you completely lost your mind? I told you I don't like being in front of cameras. Why don't you listen, Mom?
Calm down, hon. I'll be right by your side. No need to be nervous. Fame is in our blood.
Because of all the pressure Mom put on me, I faked fainting in front of the camera. And when I was alone with the doctor, I pleaded with him to tell Mom that I was struck with something severe and couldn't participate in the pageant.
Oh dear, I had so many hopes and dreams for you. But we will not give up. I'll make it my duty once you're better to get you a big role.
I sometimes wish to just scream my lungs out at her and tell her to leave me the heck alone. And then one day, something ridiculously dreadful happened. I was out shopping, and as I walked out of a store with my shopping assistants carrying my shopping bags, a bunch of reporters suddenly jumped in front of us and shoved their cameras in my face.
Hi, Ava. We've all been wondering how it feels being a spoiled rich brat.
What did you just say?
We just want to know what it's like to spend your mommy's money on ugly shoes and even uglier clothes.
At this point, everyone around was laughing hard.
That's enough! You don't know anything about me!
I tried to walk past him, but he blocked me, and in a fit of rage, I pounced on him, and we both went down on the sidewalk. The sound of clicking cameras then filled the air, and I knew I had to get out of there. So I got up, covered my face, and ran towards my car. By the time I got home, the video of me pouncing on the reporter had gone viral. Mom was going to be so mad. But as soon as I walked into our living room, she ran and hugged me.
Huh? You're trending everywhere. This is awesome.
What? You're not even mad?
Why would I be mad? This publicity stunt you just pulled is going to get you a movie role.
It was not a publicity stunt. That reporter was so mean. And for the last time, I don't want a movie role. You know how much I love designing.
Who will ever take you seriously as a designer? You are trending online with the worst fashion taste.
How could you be so cold-hearted? I'm deleting all my social media apps, and I'll never be a stupid actress like you.
Fine. If that's the case, you can go live with your father.
Are you serious?
Yes. Maybe living with your poor father will make you realize how lucky you are to have me. You'll come back, and when you do, you will do as I say.
Mom sounded so evil, and I did as she asked. I packed my bags, and the next day, my driver dropped me in my dad's town. Mom refused to let me take the car she bought me, and I was done needing her. I felt out of place with my fancy clothing and suitcase, and everyone looked at me like I was an alien.
Hi, do you need any help?
I turned to see a haggard-looking boy my age, carrying a cart filled with fruits.
I'm looking for Mr. Tom Air. Do you know him?
Everyone knows Mr. Tom.
Suddenly, I was excited. If my dad was that famous in the town, maybe he was the mayor or something.
Okay, could you take me to him? And please lift my suitcases and put them on your cart. And be gentle. They're limited edition.
Look here, your royal highness. I don't know where you came from, but there are no servants here. Now follow me, or keep standing there. I'm Imran, by the way.
Rude!
I dragged my suitcases behind him, ready to see where my famous dad lived. My excitement was, however, short-lived, because a few minutes later, Imran led me to a homeless shelter.
I don't understand.
Just then, a bunch of little kids rushed to him and hugged him before taking the fruits from his cart. In the middle of all this, an older man approached us.
Hello, Mr. Tom. This is my daughter, Ava. Your mother told me to expect you. It's so good to see you all grown, honey.
He tried to hug me, but I dodged. I had so many questions, like why did he leave? Did he ever miss me? But when I opened my mouth, what came out was,
Are you here to donate because you're a rich man?
Just then, a girl stepped forward.
He runs this shelter for homeless kids and orphans, and he also lives here with us. Dad is a hero. He takes care of all of us here.
Right, so he was a dad to these kids, but he couldn't be bothered to raise me? His own flesh and blood? I needed answers.
Ava, this is Bella. I adopted her when she was 10.
I'm Ava. Cool hair.
I know who you are. You can go record your TikToks while the rest of us do real work. Bella, that's not nice. You need to make Ava feel at home.
Bella didn't listen to Dad. She was the oldest, and she and Dad seemed to have a very close relationship from the first impression, so I bet my presence threatened her.
Sorry about that. She'll come around. You must have a lot of questions. Let's get you settled, then talk.
I needed to have a conversation with Dad and understand why he left me and came here to look after kids who weren't even his. Why did you leave Mom and I?
I didn't want to leave you, believe me. But after your mom and I separated, I didn't have anything to my name. Didn't know where to go or how to start over. Your mom was already a rising star, and I knew she would make sure you had a good life.
But why didn't you look for me after you settled down?
Look at me, Ava. All I have is this shelter and these kids, and you deserve everything in life. I knew I couldn't provide you with that, and your mother made sure I was aware of it. She said she would sue me if I tried to take you away to suffer. I didn't think she would ever let me see you, until she called the other day and said you were coming.
It didn't make me feel better that he had left me, but it helped that he had allowed me to find him. I'm 18 now, so I can make my own decisions. The next morning, I was startled from my sleep by a blaring noise. I sat up and saw Bella standing over my bed, holding a loudspeaker.
Rise and shine, princess! Really, Bella? Is the loudspeaker necessary? That's how we wake up lazy people around here. I'm not lazy, says the girl who's never worked a day in her life.
I was tired of everyone saying that.
You know what? I'm going to prove to you and everyone else that I'm not just a rich, spoiled brat. I'm going to work at the shelter all day. You won't last an hour. We'll see. I mean, how hard could it be?
Since I'd missed breakfast duty, Dad assigned me cleaning duty. Bad idea. I was walking towards the kitchen with my hands piled with dirty plates when a kid tripped me and I fell, breaking all the plates.
Great job! You managed to break all of them.
The rest of the day was no better. I spilled and broke almost everything I touched. As if that wasn't enough, the younger kids decided it'd be fun to mess with me.
Hey, Ava, have a cookie.
I picked a cookie, but as soon as I took a bite, I realized I'd been tricked. They had replaced the cream in between the cookies with toothpaste.
Ew! Here, Ava, take a sip of coffee to wash off the taste.
Another kid handed me a cup of coffee, and I took a huge gulp and spat it back out. The coffee was loaded with salt.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
With that, I walked out of the shelter, ready to crawl back in bed and cry myself to sleep. As I limped across the yard to my dad's house, Imran spotted me.
Hey there. Long morning, huh?
Yeah, also, wrong shoes. Imran took one look at my 6-inch heels and started to laugh.
How are you still walking? Your feet probably hate you right now.
So does everyone.
Not everyone.
He stared at me and smiled. Then he turned his back to me.
Come on, I'll carry you.
What? I thought you said I don't have any servants here.
Okay, maybe I was a little harsh, but your suitcase would have bruised the fruits. Now hop on.
As soon as I hopped on his back, he took off running and I giggled like a little girl. After that, Imran and I spent a lot of time working together at the shelter. Well, he did most of the work while I did my best not to break anything. He told me he'd been homeless for years, and my dad's shelter was the best thing that ever happened to him. One evening, he just dropped me off when Bella barged into my room.
Imran is a really good person. You need to stop dragging him into your drama. What are you talking about?
Bella took out her phone, scrolled a little bit, and shoved it in my face.
That's you on Imran's back. Someone took this photo, and now it's all over the internet.
I stared at the photo in disbelief.
I have no idea who took that photo, Bella. Trust me, it doesn't matter. Most of the comments are really mean. I know you're used to that, but Imran isn't. You need to stay away from him.
Bella had a point. Imran was really sweet, but he wasn't from my world. So for the next few days, I did my best to avoid him. But one morning, I walked into the shelter, and everyone yelled,
Surprise!
What is all this?
Oh, wow. You forgot your birthday. Isn't it supposed to be the biggest event of the year, according to you?
I couldn't believe it. I'd been so busy at the shelter, I forgot my 18th birthday. Well, it was supposed to be a huge event, but now I know there are more important things.
Who are you and what have you done with Ava?
As Bella and I laughed, Imran walked in carrying a birthday cake, followed by my dad, who was carrying a stack of plates.
Happy birthday, honey. I know I've missed so many, but I'm so happy to celebrate this one with you.
Thanks, Dad. Did you bake this cake?
Yes, I did.
Imran and I stared at each other and smiled, but we were interrupted when the door burst open and my mom walked in with a shiny dress.
Look, everyone! It's Dora from TV!
Hello, everyone. I brought presents. Go check outside.
At the mention of presents, they all ran outside.
Happy birthday, my big baby.
Mom, what are you doing here?
It's your birthday. I've never missed that ever since you were born. Unlike your poor father. Nice to see you too, Dora.
Mom made my party feel so tense. And then Imran tried to break the ice and offer Mom some cake, but she was so vicious towards him.
Would you like some cake, ma'am? You're that boy who has been trending on social media with my daughter. Ava, don't tell me that you've fallen for this poor thing.
Hey, you can't talk about Imran that way. We may not be stinking rich and famous, but we have something you will never. Humanity.
Says the girl who took the photo and leaked it to the press.
I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, darling. I am widely connected, and I know what happens everywhere, especially if it has to do with my daughter.
I couldn't believe that Bella would stoop so low just to hurt me.
How could you do that, Bella? I know you were jealous because I'm my dad's real daughter, but I did nothing wrong to you.
I'm sorry. So you see, Ava, these people can't be trusted. Your dad has made his choice. Please don't make the same mistake. You're still the cold, vindictive woman. Ava, you can stay here with me as long as you want. And just know, I always loved you. Go pack your bags, Ava. I'll wait for you in the car.
I was so hurt by Bella's betrayal that I really didn't want to stay anymore. But as I was about to roll my bags out, she stopped me.
You were always in his mind. He even keeps the only baby picture of you in his wallet.
Your dad loves you so much, Ava. And I'm so sorry for being a jerk.
It's okay. I forgive you. But I have to go. My mom is waiting.
I wish you didn't have to leave. You are a good person, Ava. And I hope you always stay as kind.
Thank you, Imran. I guess this is goodbye.
When I went out to the car, Dad was there, and he looked at me sadly.
Are you sure you want to do this, Ava?
Yes, Dad. I need to start afresh. By myself.
I don't understand. By yourself?
I knocked at the car window where Mom was seated, and she rolled her window down.
Can we go now?
Yes, you can go now. I packed all the designer clothes you bought me in the suitcase. I'll call to check on you.
Ava, what are you saying?
I'm saying that I want to stay here and build my own brand. I want to be a designer mom, and I will become that one day on my own.
How? Your father has no money. But I have love, and I will support her dreams all the way. Fine. You will regret this, Ava. Driver, let's go.
I was tired of living in Mom's shadow, and with all the motivation and support from the shelter, I was determined to make it. A year later, Dad and all the kids helped me organize a fashion show at the shelter, and I had all the young ladies wear my designs.
Are you ready for this?
Is there anyone important in the audience?
Well, I sent the invite to all the fashion houses, and to a few other places.
Okay, thank you for all your support. Ladies, are you ready?
The girls did so well, and after the show, I felt happy. And then suddenly, I was approached by a lady.
Hello, Miss Ava. We loved all your designs, and we'd like to make you an offer.
Okay. Which company are you from?
Louis Vuitton.
Never let anyone take your dreams away. There is always a way to make it.
Hello, friends. I'm Tumisha from the Thar Desert, also known as Butterfingers or Miss Clumsy Onesie, because that's why. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Everyone in my family had a gift except me. Mom loved stitching the most craziest designs. Once, she stitched a picture of a zebra with all its stripes coming off on my only white Punjabi.
Isn't that pretty?
What's wrong with the zebra?
It symbolizes how you keep dropping things. If you were a zebra, you would probably drop your stripes.
That's interesting. My sister Siri, who was 2 years older than me, loved drawing, and she was so good at it. Hey Siri, what's the weather like today? Hot like an oven. Make sure to wear your sun hat. You wanna play? Not right now. Mom asked me to draw something for Dad's workplace. My dad had a gift with animals and worked at the Desert National Park.
Tomisha, you wanna try feeding?
I loved it when Dad asked me to help out, but the animals usually didn't stay still in my arms. How come the animals don't like me the way they like you, Dad?
They need to get used to you, and you need to relax around them. I'll teach you everything you need to know about Wild.
Learning from Dad was always fun, but although I loved all animals, I wasn't passionate about them like Dad was. I sucked at pretty much everything. I tried desperately to find my strength in many things, like for instance, stone hockey.
Tumisha, I walked miles for that water. Why, oh why?
It was an accident.
You and your silly accidents. I'm getting so tired of it.
Well, stone hockey was obviously not in my good books, so when I was 9, I tried out our tribal dance, which only certain people could pull off. I had it going until I started spinning. Okay, yeah, everyone had something special about themselves but me.
Tumisha, bring me the ostrich egg.
Whenever Mom asked me to do anything, I got so excited. Because she always let Siri do everything. And then, boom! There was a rock in the way and the egg flew in the air, cracking open on Mom's head.
Tumisha!
It was an accident.
You always say that. Why can't you learn from your sister?
It was really an accident. I'm sorry. Well, Mom never let any of my accidents slide by that easy. Later that night, we each got a piece of pastry and the broken pieces of the eggshell for dinner.
Sari, did you show your father that beautiful bird you drew today? Maybe he can hang it up at the national park.
This is it, Dad.
Wow, this is indeed very nice. I am so proud of you, Sari.
Thank you, Dad. Our dinner time was usually like this. Sari, Mom, or Dad received praises for what they accomplished while I watched. I was happy for Sari, and she always tried to involve me. That's because my sister was a true sweetheart. Tomisha also discovered something amazing today, Dad.
Oh, great. What did you discover?
Well, I was looking at the sun and realized the sun rays are even stronger than before. I think it's searching for water to suck up so it can rain.
That's the most craziest thing I've heard. I'll tell you what your daughter has been up to. She broke an entire egg, and that's why our plates are half empty.
I told you it was an accident, and we learned about evaporation and how the clouds get full at school. I think that there is a drought coming, a big one if it doesn't rain soon.
Well, if there is a drought, we all know who to blame. You.
Mom didn't like me because I wasn't perfect like Sari, and no matter how many times I apologized about my mistakes, Mom always saw me as some big failure. I enjoyed school, especially when the teacher spoke about inventions, nature, and how humans were made. They called it science, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Now, who can explain living and non-living things?
Living things are people, plants, animals, and seeds, and non-living things are stones, sand, and air.
Well done, Tomisha. You get a star.
Later that evening, I finally had something to boast about at the dinner table.
Tomisha, when are you taking that thing off your forehead?
You mean my star my teacher gave me because I was brilliant in class?
Brilliance is when your hands can be put to good use. What will you do with knowledge in a desert?
Well, I think it's a good thing.
Don't be ridiculous. All the girls in the desert know that cooking, cleaning, and sewing gives them a better opportunity to lure a rich man. Tomisha is almost a teenager and she can't do anything.
I guess Sari will remain your star girl. Tomisha. I knew my sister didn't mean any harm. I was just so tired of Mom's negativity towards me. Sari, why does Mom hate me? She doesn't hate you. She's just looking out for you. She loves you. But isn't love accepting a person as they are? I don't know. I think love is having a roof over our heads and food to eat. Yeah, maybe you're right. Can you teach me how to do things like you? Of course I can, sis. I shadowed Sari, trying to be just like her, and it wasn't easy because it wasn't me. You have to focus on this one. I don't understand why we can't just carry the pot in our hands. It's so much simpler. It's lighter on the head. No matter how much I tried to be a perfect lady, it didn't work. And to make it worse, one of the women saw me drop the water and looked upset.
You girls are silly to waste water at a time like this. That was probably the last bit of water you will find in the well.
What are you talking about?
The well is dry, dear. The men of the desert will have to leave tonight to buy bottled water from the faraway stores.
This was bound to happen since there hasn't been rain for a very long time. Gosh, the lady was right. What's going to happen to all of us? How will we survive? Those are some tough questions. Let's go back home and see Dad before he leaves with the men. I wish Dad didn't have to go. Even though he spent most of his time with animals, at least he wasn't like Mom. He never paid attention to my mistakes. Please come back safely, Dad.
I will. You take care of your mom and Tomisha. You are not perfect, but you are brave.
Dad's words gave me courage to stay strong. I never thought of myself being brave, but maybe that was my purpose, to be a brave heart. Days passed since our fathers left the desert to get water from the faraway stores, and everyone looked so miserable, and I felt this urge inside of me to save everyone.
Yes, Tomisha.
Can't we do something using science to save the desert?
All our fathers are out there trying to make a plan. I think we should leave it to them.
I couldn't understand how everyone could continue with life so normally. Everything was drying up. During recess, I spent time in the library researching for a way to save the desert from the drought. An ancient riverbed in the Thar Desert. Wow, there's even a map. I could use this. Later after school, I took Sari with me following the map in the book, but her mind was not at all into finding a solution. She had her own set of problems I never knew about. That book was made ages ago, Tomisha. There's no way that map can still work. It's worth a try. Imagine if there really is an ancient riverbed and we find it. Well, that would be great for you, since you're the smart one. Hey, is something else bothering you? Yes, I think I might fail school. What? How come you never said anything before?
I was embarrassed, so I faked my report card the whole year. Now it's end of the year.
Oh, Sari, I really could have helped you. But don't give up. There's always next year.
I wish I was smart like you. And no, I'm not going back to school next year. I'll be turning 18, and I think I'm going to take Mom's advice and wait for someone rich to marry me.
Mom's influence on Sari was so strong that whatever I said meant zilch. Sari started spending more time with Mom, and I became almost invisible around the house. Hey, Sari, you still want to come with me on that adventure?
You almost got it, Sari.
Okay then, I guess I'll go alone. Jeez, do you have to be that hot? Give us a break already. I followed the map over the sand dunes and further down to the valley between the dunes. I couldn't make out the rest of the directions on the map. It was an old history book, so the map was faded. Wow, I've never seen butterflies here before. I know it was crazy, but it was like a voice inside of me urging me to dig the ground. I had to save the desert.
Where is she already? What if something ate her up?
Calm down, Mom. It's not that dark yet. Let's go find her.
I know I've always been hard on her, but I wouldn't be okay if something happened.
Tumisha is a strong girl. You have nothing to worry about. My body and mind couldn't stop. I felt so close to something big until I heard Mom's voice.
Tumisha!
Tumisha! I'm in here.
Oh, thank the gods!
What are you doing here? We were worried sick.
You trying to bury something?
Oh my gosh. No, Mom. I got a good feeling that there's water below this spot, so I started digging.
Oh, why me? What will the people say when they find out my child has lost her mind?
Oh, Mom, do you have to be so dramatic? I strongly believe that I can save the desert from a terrible drought.
Okay, let's just go back home.
But I'm not done here.
Don't be crazy. Mom is worried sick about you. Please, let's just go.
I followed them back, but that didn't mean I was going to give up on my mission. I did not go to school for 7 days. What was the point of having education if it was not put to use? So I used my knowledge even though people laughed at me. Hey, crazy girl, when are you going to clean up this mess you made? I'm sure after I find water, you'll be the first one down here to quench your thirst.
No water down there, crazy girl. You have been digging here for 7 days. You will only find snakes down there.
Their words didn't stop me from proving my point. Digging a hole was not easy, but I couldn't give up. Have to stay strong. Have to stay strong. When I opened my eyes, I saw this very good-looking creature in front of me. Am I in heaven?
No, you fainted. You should take a break.
No, I have to finish. I have this feeling that I'm very close.
Okay then, I'll help you.
The boy's name was Ekram. He was cute, and I looked like I just stepped out of a dry desert. Ironic, I know. Looks like you found a crazy person to join you. Your mother should be ashamed.
You are very brave to be doing this. What if you don't find any water?
Look, if you're going to have doubts, then maybe don't help me.
Fine, rude. The ladies are right. You are crazy.
Oh my gosh, the sand is wet! The sand is wet!
You're right. We need to keep digging.
Water! I knew it!
Everyone, come see. We found the water.
We? You were only here for a couple of seconds.
Ekram found the water, everyone!
Ekram, Ekram, Ekram.
I felt like a bomb about to explode. This boy took my shine. I couldn't believe how blindsided everyone was. Was it a curse to be a girl? The people had a celebration even though our fathers were not back. No appreciation was shown to me. When I wanted to speak my mind, Mom stopped me. This is so unfair. I'm the one who believed there was water underground. I'm the one who went there every day. I never gave up. Then this dimwad comes along and steals the show. I can't watch this.
Well, he is a boy and the water was found when he was with you. That's what they've been saying.
Oh, so being a girl means we are disqualified from making any discoveries? That is just ridiculous.
You be quiet. That's all. This is the way things are and we have to accept it.
I know it's painful, sis. No one will hear you out. Just let it be. When I was just about to leave the party, everyone screamed. An Asiatic wildcat had crept into the village, no doubt lured by the sight of water. Dad told me about them when I was little, and they are only dangerous when attacked, or in instances like this where there's a lot of panic.
Ekram, save us from the cat!
Never turn your back on a wildcat. Stand tall and look them in their eyes.
I'm too scared to do that. You save them.
My heart pounded as I faced the wildcat and hoped what Dad taught me would work. Give me your scarf. When the wildcat finally disappeared, I faced the people who looked at me speechless. Why are you all so shocked? Is it because I'm a girl? Where's your Ekram? Oh look, he is hiding. Come out, Ekram. Come out, Ekram, and act like you saved them from the wildcat too.
Tomisha, I think it's time to go home.
No! I am tired of women pulling down women just for being brave. What is wrong with you? Ekram, did you dig a hole for the past 7 days? And what were you about to do when I found the wet sand?
Walk away.
Louder, or else I'll call the cat back.
I was walking away.
Thank you. So your hero, who is a boy, did not discover anything. I, Tomisha, a strong young woman, made that discovery because I believed in knowledge, while all of you laughed at me. I'm not going to be quiet just because I am female. After some days, I was the famous Tomisha, but my sister was very distant. Hey Siri, what's the weather like? Very dull at the moment. Please carry an umbrella. What's really wrong? I've decided to go back to school. You promise you'll help me? Hey, I'm the girl who dug the biggest hole. Imagine what I can do for my one and only sister whom I love so much.
Hello! Where is everyone?
Dad!
Oh, thank the gods!
Dad and the rest of the fathers didn't come with any water. Dad said they were held up by some bandits. But that's another story.
Tomisha, you have made us proud. Thank you for being brave.
We are so proud of you, Tomisha.
I was always special. I just had to persevere to realize it.
Hello, besties. I'm Layla, and I'm from India. Please like and subscribe to SDA. I was born into a family of accountants, and when I was just 2 years old, Dad gave me my first calculator.
This is a calculator, Layla. If you want to be a great accountant one day, you need to start now.
Of course, I had no idea what he was talking about. I was just 2. Right after he left the room, I threw the calculator like a flying saucer. And when I was 9, I finally realized what I wanted to be after watching a space channel on YouTube.
Mom, Dad, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I want to be an astronaut.
Layla, have you been watching nonsense again on your mother's phone?
Not nonsense, Dad. YouTube.
Enough! From now on, you will watch educational programs with us.
I wanted to talk back, but back-chatting in my family meant you were grounded for life. I sat down and watched their boring accounting channel, and then all of a sudden, my eyes started burning, and everything became blurry.
Mom, my eyes are burning.
Stop being dramatic, Layla, and watch.
I'm not. I can't see. Mom, Dad, help!
I think she's telling the truth. We have to take her to the hospital.
Mom and Dad rushed me to the hospital. I was diagnosed with radiation cataracts. This was caused by too much light from a screen, like a TV, phone, or computer.
I guess you can forget about being an astronaut now, because up there you would have to see lots of light every day.
Why do you have to be so horrible, Dad? I'm your child and I have a sickness.
Calm down, Layla. Dad was just joking.
Well, no one is laughing. I was devastated about what was happening to me. The doctor even said that in a few years, I would need to have an operation, or else I would be blind. But then my hope flourished again when I saw a shooting star. I was not going to give up. I continued to frustrate my parents about my passion. When I was 15, I made my own astronaut costume and wore it for career day at school. As I walked in confidence, some kids laughed, but that didn't bother me until a douchebag with a huge camera flashed the thing in my face, causing me to lose my sight. And I walked into a locker.
Hey, are you all right? I am so sorry. I was just admiring your costume, and since I'm a future photographer,
Quiet! My eyes are still burning from your camera flash.
Oh no, I am so sorry. Please, let me help you to class. My name is Shane. I'm actually in your science class. I hate science, but you're so brilliant and—
Shane, I know who you are, so please go. I'll be fine.
Are you sure? Your eyes are turning red and—
Shane was the class chatterbox. Everyone ran away from him because he could never shut up. And now, because of this little incident, I seemed stuck with him. He even followed me home after school.
Shane, what are you doing?
I'm making sure you get home safe. I'm a real gentleman. My mother always told me to be polite, but my father, well, he's never around. Always busy at his big accounting firm. I don't like accounting and
Okay. I'm home now, so you can go. Before Shane could cycle off, Dad's car pulled over, and he got out looking so mad. Dad, why do you look so angry?
I just got fired. So yes, I am mad. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. My dad owns a company. Maybe I can talk to him for you? Layla, who is this? Is he your boyfriend? Are you bringing boyfriends home while we're at work?
No! Dad, how can you think that?
No, sir. I was just making sure your daughter is safe. Which company does your father own? The biggest accounting firm in the country, B&G, sir. Your father is a crook. He just fired me for a mistake he made, and he's been stealing a lot of money from many people. Oh, that's not true. I can— Get out of here, you child of a thief!
Shane drove away, and Dad warned me never to speak to him again. I agreed, but things at home after Dad lost his job were never the same. Mom would come home from work and still clean, while Dad just sat around all day watching TV. And he was so grumpy. We couldn't even laugh when he was around. And then one day, during the early hours of the morning, I got up to drink a glass of water and found Mom crying in the kitchen as she looked at the bills. Mom, are you okay?
Layla, what are you doing up?
I was thirsty. You're crying.
I'm just so tired. We might have to use the money we saved up for your cataract operation to pay these bills.
It's okay, Mom. I'm sure I won't go blind just yet. Days later, I had to eat my words up because my eyes were not doing so well, since I struggled to see a single thing on the class board. When I excused myself to the bathroom, I could hardly find my way. And when I got to the bathroom, I got the shock of my life when Shane suddenly screamed.
Oh!
Why are you here?
I'm here to use the bathroom. Why are you here?
Using the bathroom? Wait, are the boys and girls sharing the same bathroom now? I know you ladies always fight for equal rights, but this would be a little over the top. I looked closer at the door sign, and my face turned red with embarrassment. Oh my gosh, Shane, I am so sorry. I didn't read the sign right.
It's okay, it happens. I made a mistake like that twice before.
My excuse was my eye problem. I wondered what his was. Let me go before anyone else sees me. After my little incident with Shane, he somehow assumed we were friends and followed right behind me during lunch break.
I think the universe is trying to say something to us.
What do you think it's saying?
That we're meant to be friends.
My dad specifically told me to stay away from you, so I don't think so.
Wow, I should try that too. Chocolate syrup and hot dog.
Huh?
You put chocolate syrup all over your hot dog. I think I should try that.
Here, you can have mine.
This is so delicious. Wow, what a discovery.
Shane was definitely a special kind of species, but what troubled me the most was how bad my eyes were becoming, because the next thing I did was walk into a wall. And of course, Shane was there to catch me when I almost fell backwards.
You see, I told you the universe was trying to bring us together.
No! Leave me alone, Shane! When I tried to get away from him, I walked into another wall, but this time, I blacked out. After some time, I opened my eyes and everything was black. It was like I was in a dark hole and couldn't get out, so I started panicking.
Ah! Where am I? I can't see!
Layla, calm down. You're in my car.
I can't see! It's over! Oh, I'm blind!
What are you talking about? How is this possible? I told Shane everything, and he cradled me in his arms as I cried my eyes out.
I'm here for you, and I'm going to drive you to the hospital now.
When I got to the hospital, I was rushed to the emergency ward, and I was so scared, but Shane was right by my side.
Shane, what's going on? The doctors are gonna make your eyes better.
But my parents don't have the money for this.
Don't worry, I got you.
After he said that, I dozed off, and I don't know how long I was blacked out. When I woke up, I still saw darkness, but after some seconds, I saw Mom and Dad.
Layla! Oh, my baby, how do you feel?
I can see! I can see, Mom!
Thank God!
Dad just looked at me sternly. Dad, what's wrong?
You disobeyed me. I told you to stay away from that boy. But when we got here, he was here. I had to chase him away.
You chased him away? He saved my life!
He saved your eyes, not your life. And you will pay him every cent back. We are not a charity case.
Dad walked away, and Mom never said anything back as usual. Mom, why don't you ever say anything back to him? Why do you always leave to be so mean?
I didn't want to start a problem. The most important thing right now is that you are fine.
When I was well enough to go back to school, Shane was the first person I couldn't wait to see. I didn't care what Dad said. I was going to be his friend, and he loved taking pictures of me.
Oh, Layla, you are a natural. You should be a model or an actress.
I could, but I love space science. I know it's a strange career choice, but it gets me excited.
Follow your dreams no matter what.
If it wasn't for your help, Shane, my dreams would have been shattered. Thank you so much. It was good to have a friend like Shane who encouraged me, but back home when I was in grade 12, I came home and found Dad smiling for the first time in ages.
What happened? Did you get a job?
No, even better. This is your acceptance letter to study accounting at the best college in the country.
You applied for me?
Yes, it's what we planned for your future.
But that's not what I want. You know how passionate I am about space. Why do you always ignore what I love?
Layla, you are going to study accounting. This is what we are good at.
No, Dad! It's what you are good at! I applied to study space science, and that's what I'm good at!
Then you will not live under my roof. You might as well start searching for a new home in space.
Fine! I'll definitely do that, Dad! When Mom came home from work, I cried on her shoulder and asked her to speak to Dad, but she was being the typical submissive wife again.
Oh, Layla, my baby, just listen to your father and all will be well.
What? Are you not even going to speak to him and tell him that there is nothing wrong with being an incredible scientist?
We can't take risks like that, hon. Accounting is much safer than that career. Please, think about it.
I was so mad, but I had to calm down and play nice at least until I completed my grade 12. And when I eventually did graduate, I was so excited that I even forgot that my parents were present and hugged Shane. Dad wasted no time to attack.
Layla, what are you doing with this boy?
Come on, Dad, it's our graduation. Everyone is happy.
I told you I don't like this boy. But I did nothing wrong to you, sir. And my father told me what really happened. You were stealing. Enough! Layla, let's go!
No, what is he talking about? You told us that Shane's father was the crook. Dad looked at me like I wasn't even his daughter at that moment, so I drew back. But him, he was cold as a monster.
Layla, let's just go. No, she's done with school now. She can find her own way in life.
I couldn't believe how my parents walked away from me like that. I was hurt, but I had to stay strong.
Layla, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect them just to leave you. That was a bit too harsh.
I looked at Shane, and I couldn't hold back my tears. I had no idea what I was going to do.
Oh, Shane, what have I done? I have no money, no job, no place to stay. My father will never take me back. I'll speak to my dad for you to stay in the guest house. Your family already helped with my eye operation. I don't want to be a burden. Hey, you could never be a burden. You're like my best friend in the whole wide world.
Hearing Shane say that helped ease my shattered heart from my parents. Shane's family offered me a nice space in their guest house. It even had a balcony. Shane bought me a telescope to look at the stars as a motivation for my career. And one evening, while I was out gazing into the telescope, I accidentally gazed into Shane's room. He was at his window with his shirt off. And oh boy, was I amazed. I had no idea how much muscles he had. I was literally drooling. To get my mind off this sudden attraction I had for Shane, I decided to search for part-time jobs. And then Shane entered, and I almost spilled coffee all over the laptop.
Hey, what are you up to?
Shane, you startled me. I was just looking for a job.
Why? We have everything here. What about your studies?
I know, I should be happy that I even have a scholarship, but I need to make my own money. I don't feel right eating off you and your parents.
I told you, you don't have to feel bad. I've got you.
I know Shane meant well, but I had a very big conscience and got a job at a big toy store. I had to dress up like different Disney characters every day, and kids were always surrounding me. The job was fun, until one day, this one kid accidentally blew a bubble into my eyes.
Ah! Oh, my eyes! It burns!
The store owner quickly took me to the back room where I managed to wash my eyes and cool down. It brought back memories of when I went blind. That was the most scariest time of my life. The store owner allowed me to leave early, so I called Shane. When he came to pick me up, I felt so emotional and hugged him.
Hey, what happened?
Nothing big. I'm so grateful for you, Shane. He kissed me on my forehead. My feelings for him grew stronger, but I kept it to myself. Every day after work, I had to get down to studies. It wasn't easy studying during the evenings. Sleep was always over me, but Shane would come in with a nice cup of coffee, reminding me to stay focused. Thank you so much. How are your studies going?
It's going okay, but there are so many other photographers who are better than me.
Hey, look at me. You are the best. Forget about what others can do, and always tell yourself that you are the best.
Thank you. I needed to hear that.
I was glad to be there to motivate him, and I was even stunned at myself. My parents letting me go actually made me stronger. I scored the highest in my grades at university. I helped the toy store make the most sales than ever before. And a year later, I could finally afford my own place, plus continue with my studies. I was so proud of myself, and so was Shane.
You inspire me, Layla. You are such a strong person.
I could have never done it without you. I felt like we had a moment, so I did the unthinkable. I kissed Shane, and he pulled back.
Layla, I can't.
Oh, I feel so embarrassed. I thought—
It's not you. I'm gay.
Oh, wow. How come you never told me?
I never tell anyone, just scared of not being accepted.
I hugged Shane, showing him that I love him just the way he is. After Shane's big reveal, we would spend even more time together, and then one day, I was surprised with a new visitor. Dad?
Your mom is in hospital.
Dad said Mom fainted at work. I wasn't surprised to see Mom this way. What surprised me was Dad. He actually looked so weak.
This is all my fault. I put so much pressure on her.
You're right, Dad. You took Mom for granted. She could never be free around you, but yet you were supposed to love her. Dad looked at me shocked, because no one ever stood up to him.
How can you be so disrespectful?
I'm being factual. Change your ways, or else you'll be alone on this earth with no one to love you. I left Dad to think about his actions. As for me, I still continued in my independent journey, and you know what? I made it. I started living my dream, all because I never stopped believing in me.